Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. We're going to be talking a lot about the Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge, which will be happening right here on stage in just a bit. Now, I've been studying and learning about this all day, but no matter how much studying I would do, Loma, of course, is always going to know more. So, Loma, why not just let us know a little bit about what we're going to be seeing here?
Hello, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge, I want to say a huge thank you to the organizers of the CECC May Madness. We are grateful to be invited to be a part here, and we are honored to bring Excel Esports to its biggest stage yet. Students around the world are learning, competing, and discovering how exciting and powerful Excel can be. And today we are going to showcase that with 4 teams competing head-to-head. These teams previously faced off in last year's finals, and it was an exciting game, and we are expecting even more intense game today. And I want to say good luck to all the players and enjoy the game. And to anyone out there who wants to try their hand at Excel Esports, sign up for the MECC online. It's free for students worldwide. Or come visit our booth here at the CECC and try some Excel Speed Challenge. Let's see how it goes. Good luck to everyone.
Thank you so much, Loma. And before we jump in and introduce these teams, I do want to reiterate, over 10,000 students have signed up. 900 schools are represented online. And there are participants from over 125 countries and territories, including some who have traveled incredibly far to be here. So without further ado, let's introduce these teams. Thank you so much, Loma. The first team, without a doubt, our farthest competitors from anything today, this entire weekend truly, is going to be Team University of Technology Sydney. Now that is Sydney as in Australia, I found out, so they are here from quite a ways away. Let's give them a round of applause as they join me here on stage. Come on, gang. All right, there we go, there we go. Let's make some noise. So, I mean, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure it was a long journey to be here, and I wanted to ask, you know, traveling so far is not easy. How are you guys feeling? Are you worried about jet lag? Are you worried about being tired? Or are you just ready to go?
Yeah, you know, like, it was a rough flight, you know, had to detour Dallas real quick, because rain issues, weather. But, you know, we're feeling good now. You know, we got a bunch of support back home. Shout out everyone watching back home in Australia. You guys are the best. And yeah, we're here to leave it out on the table and give it our best.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you guys so much. You can head to your station as we go ahead and welcome University of Tennessee-Knoxville to the battlefield as well. They'll be joining their competitors as the second of 4 teams we'll be seeing here today. Let me find them. Where are they? Knoxville, here we go. Second on my list. Here they come to join us. A round of applause for Knoxville. So, you guys are no strangers to winning, I have found out. You claim a title, you claim a victory in December. Coming into this, how are we feeling? Does it feel like it's going to be an easy thing to do again? Are there any nerves on the table?
No nerves, nothing's easy though, but I think we got it.
Yeah, I like that a lot, I like that a lot. Thank you guys so much. You can head to your station as we go ahead and welcome next Team University of Arizona, who will be joining me on stage here. Coming in is our third of 4 teams. There we are, the University of Arizona joining us here on the battlefield. So, I want to hear a little bit. It was made clear to me that you guys suffered a recent loss of only 20 points, which I have learned not that many when all things are kind of come down to it. So, did those 20 points really change anything for you guys in terms of how you plan on approaching things in the future to make sure that that small of a differential doesn't catch you guys off guard again?
Yeah, it was a reminder that every point matters. It doesn't matter if you're guessing, just to get those little bit. Every single point matters, and having that loss just by 20 points really cemented it in the U of A team.
Absolutely. Well, please take your position at your stations as we welcome to the field our 4th and final team, the University of Kentucky, who are going to be joining me here on stage. Let's give a round of applause for Kentucky as they make an appearance here as well. So, guys, I learned that you recently won an event, a regional hosted by your rivals, University of Tennessee-Knoxville. So, do you think coming in, you know, you have that win under your belt, you're against them once again, you know them, do you feel like this momentum's on your side?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to crush everyone here. Let's go!
Short and sweet to the point. Gentlemen, please feel free to head to your station. Now, guys, like I said, I've done a lot of learning, but there's going to be 2 people that know this a heck of a lot better than I do. So my friends John and Oz are going to be on the desk to cast you guys through what we're seeing this weekend. John and Oz, take it away.
Oz, you fired up for today's event?
I'm excited. I'm excited to be here on this big stage, bringing Excel mainstream to the Esports Arena, Arlington, Texas.
That's right. And these esports, these Excel esports, are not just boring financial modeling for all you fans out there. This is an exciting, challenging, multi-level case that we're going to witness these competitors solve in just 30 minutes. So it's going to be a lot of fun, really high pace. And right now we're going to take a look at this case with a short video.
Welcome to the Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge Team Showdown at CECC May Madness 2025. We are glad to present you the case for the battle, Excel Shuffle, designed by Yo Z Shung from Australia. The square sheet contains a square shaded in orange. These cells will be referred to as the face. The face is bounded by 5 cells shaded in gray on either side, which will be referred to as the wings. Horizontal and vertical moves. In each game, you will be provided with a set of instructions or moves to shuffle the faces, denoted in this notation, row or column magnitude direction. For example, a notation of X3 left arrow means to shift the numbers in the row labeled X in the square by 3 moves to the left. Any numbers that fall outside the gray area will be recycled and start from the other end. See the visualization sheet for reference. On the other hand, the notation of a 3 down arrow will mean the values of 1, 6, and 2 being moved into the orange face in the leftmost column of the square. All games are independent of one another, and moves are to be applied to the starting square at the beginning of every game. Rotation moves. In level 5 onwards, directions denoted by counterclockwise direction arrow and clockwise direction arrow. These refer to rotating the face counterclockwise and clockwise, respectively, and are notated together with a magnitude to show many steps to take. Rotation moves only affect the face of a square and leave the wings unchanged. For a detailed example of how the rotation works, see the visualization sheet. The case has 140 questions of 7 levels of difficulty and 5 bonus questions. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck!
All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and count them down to kick things off, and I'm supposed to do it, but I want everybody in here to do it with me. Ready? I'm going to start from 5, and you guys are going to join me on 3. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good luck, everybody.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. All right, this was a tough challenge. They were working on this within hours of making it final, right? Because, yes, they were thinking, is this too hard? Is it too easy? What's going to happen? We're going to see. We got these 4 teams who...
Yeah. And if you haven't seen Excel Esports before, these competitors have not seen this case yet. They just got to preview it today, like you said, Oz.
That's
so
right.
They're kind of jumping into this map without really knowing what's going on here. And they don't have a sense of how they're going to solve this. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for them to first diagnose what this level is all about, or what this challenge is all about. And we also have some bonus questions here that we're going to take a look at as well. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into this.
There's a lot of strategy because 2 of the 4 teams can get the bonus points. So it can be a strategy to try to lock out other teams by being one of the 2 that can get the bonus points. And there's a total of 5. And the whole game over this next half hour is a total of 1,250 points available.
Yeah, that's right. And here we see Peter from the University of Sydney taking a look at the square there. So you can see the square in that sheet that he's taking a look at to try and probably solve maybe some bonus points. It's hard to know what he's going to be looking at right here at the start.
And over on the right side, you can see the keyboard shortcuts that a person is using.
Yeah, I always love seeing this because these young competitors don't necessarily have a lot of experience in Excel yet. They've maybe only been using it for a year or 2 at the most. So They're learning keyboard shortcuts. They're also learning all these functions that they have to use to solve this case. Don't see any points on the board yet. Looks like Peter's working on level 3 here, so he's taking a look at level 3. And a lot of times what these teams do, since they have 3 players, is they will kind of divide up this case amongst each level. So there's 7 total levels, and they divide them up to try and figure out who's going to solve which level based on some of their strengths, right? They each have their own strengths. We can see now that University of Arizona got 60 points on the board.
Let's look at University of Arizona to see where those points came from.
Yeah, with the University of Kentucky right there behind them, and University of Tennessee as well. One thing we didn't mention, these bonus points are important at the start, but they are only available to the first 2 teams that score the bonus points. So it becomes critical that if they're going to go after bonus points, that they do it early on.
When we see University of Arizona, they've got bonus question 4, and bonus question 1 and 2, University of Kentucky and Knoxville, so nobody else can get bonus point 1.
Bonus point 1 is out. We see Jack here from University of Arizona.
Let's see.
Taking a look at trying to figure out these arrows. So one of the complexities of this first level is there's these arrow symbols in the cells, as you can see here. He's trying to figure out now how to count all of those for one of the bonus questions. He's kind of split those out, and now looking at you can see the bonus questions there. So he's going to go put some points in the score sheet. Again, if this is your first time watching this esports, there's a separate score sheet that they need to enter their points into to see if they get them correct. So you can see that Jack here's maybe not got that one correct, trying to figure out what to do there.
Right, and one thing is, part of the strategy, part of working as a team is deciding who is going to enter the points.
That's true.
So that you don't have a couple of people trying to enter points, and when they can, one of them can be doing something else.
Yeah, so a lot of teamwork, a lot of communication has to go into this. And again, there's a lot of stress with the time too, as we have 4 minutes gone already.
Got a count if function happening. That old count if, not a count ifs.
That's true. There's over 500 functions in Excel that our players could choose from. So there's a lot to learn here. And with only having a few years experience, of course, you're just going to have a limited number of functions under your belt.
Let's see what's happening. We got coming up on...
He's just kind of guessing now, looks like, which is an interesting strategy. Just kind of going through the sequence of numbers here to see if one sticks and get some points.
If you can get points that way, you take them.
It's a little risky, though, because it's taking time.
Right, it's taking time, and also the cases, these levels build on each other. And if you guess early, and then later on, it comes to bite you. There's a crocodile leaping out of the water, biting you in the face because you guessed early, and now you need that work to be done eventually.
Didn't build that foundation, that's right, because all these cases, or all these levels kind of build on each other. Some don't, but you probably want to go in order here. We still have our scores kind of locked at this 60, 30, 30. University of Sydney still need to put some points on the board.
Yeah.
Looks like Andy here is working on, from University of Kentucky, is working on level 1, which is good to see that we have level 1.
And level 1 is, think of it as a sideways slot machine with 3 reels. Right, and you have to know left, right. Okay, 100 points, 100 points.
Here we go, University of Arizona.
Who's got that? All right.
So
that is from another bonus.
Bonus, yes.
Right.
No one has scored level 1 yet.
All right.
Which is kind of something I was concerned about with this case. It is a challenging level 1, so it might be a few minutes before we see a score on the board for level 1. But I think once that happens, points will be added pretty quickly.
Right, because
once interesting strategy here from Nate, that has the this grid overlapping, or essentially duplicated it out.
Right.
And the reason he's doing this is because really the way this works is that the numbers kind of revolve, essentially rotate.
Right, they wrap around like a roulette wheel or a slot machine reel.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And so rather than pull out the mod function, you can stretch this out, but then hope that you stretch it out far enough.
That's true, because there is a lot of movement in the later levels.
All right.
Then Nate got an if statement here, if function, trying to figure out how to essentially sum up all of those orange, not green,
Exactly.
orange squares in the middle once he figures out the movement that happens within each row. So there's a lot of complexity here just in level 1. A lot of moving parts, really kind of 4 different elements to this formula that you have to figure out in order to get an answer.
Right, because you got to get the sum. There's some offset that can happen. And then you have the different rows, the X, Y, and Z row.
That's right. And columns as well. So
Yes, well, that's, yes.
Yeah, not in level 1, but we do have columns coming up.
I looked at this. I looked at this a few nights ago when we get to case early, and I said, "Oh my gosh, what are they doing? Who thought this up?"
Definitely challenging these students right out of the gate. It looks like James is working down on level 5. And even though he's on level 5, that's considered it's still an easy level. So the first 3 levels kind of go easy, medium, hard, and then it repeats. So that gives each student something to work on and kind of build on.
Yeah, and level 5 is the first level where you have to consider the rotation of the numbers and not just the side to side, up, down.
Yeah, that's right.
And there again, one strategy could be to flatten it out. How? Let's see. Looks like it's been flattened out versus trying to work with it in that face.
Yeah. And we do have a quick explainer video from Professor Fritz Bricard that we're going to jump to explain more about that rotation.
Let's check that out. Okay. University of Kentucky.
What is inside the central square when the teams shift row X 3 to the left? Outside of this wing, while they need to be over here on the right. To deal with this, the teams might want to look at the data not as rows and columns, but instead as wheels. If we spin this wheel with 8 spaces 3, 11, or 19 times, we end up in the same location as the results repeat every 8 spaces. To handle this circularity, the pros use the mod function, which returns the remainder when we divide one number by another. The teams then can use these mod outputs to see the resulting locations on the wheel. This is one approach the teams can use to figure out what's going to be where inside the Excel square. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot. And while we were away, the University of Kentucky is way out ahead, but by bonus points. And if you notice, level 5 is 95% correct. So they can decide to go back and try to fish out that 5% or move on. They're only 20% of level 1 completed. This is slow and painful, y'all. Usually we would have seen levels 1 or 2 done. Then who do we blame? We blame the case author, Yao Zi Zheng, who's hiding somewhere in Australia.
Yeah, brutal. But still a really interesting challenge here. And you're right, University of Kentucky is out to a strong lead now. Kind of continually increment points here up to 291. So we're seeing them continue to add points through that level 5 there.
Right. And with a case like this, you take points how you can get them and you decide to move on. Look at this. Okay, so University of Tennessee-Knoxville closing the gap.
Yeah, as we see Andy working on.
And still only level 1 at 85%, but in second place.
And kind of a manual approach here, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because the rotations of this grid kind of allows for a lot of manual work here. It can.
And with a case like this, with this level of difficulty, manual may get you through versus writing one single formula and then dragging it down.
Yeah. So I see Andy looking at the sequence function now, so it looks like he might have something going.
With less than 19 minutes left.
Yeah.
Whoa. Sydney, please get on the board. All right.
Working on it. The challenge is those bonus points, because they're not really available for all of the levels.
Right.
Bonus 3, you really have to solve all 7 levels, or at least work on them to get that bonus. So bonuses are almost pretty much locked out now. Really got to start working on the levels.
Yeah. Because one more team can get bonus 5. 2 can still get bonus 3, but the other ones, they are locked out with coming up on 18 minutes left.
So if you're watching this thinking, I could do this or I want to participate, like we said at the beginning, go to MECC.college to sign up. Join this local college. If you have a finance club or anything like that, get involved with this. It's a lot of fun. And we're now here at the CECC Esports event.
Arlington,
pretty
Texas.
amazing.
Right.
Really feel honored to be here.
Wow.
Showing some Excel Esports.
Okay, so level 1 is 100% complete by Knoxville now, finally.
Yeah, and you can see what Ben's doing is he's got those rotating symbols.
Right.
And assigning a 1 and a -1 to those. So essentially they go in 2 different directions, either counterclockwise or clockwise.
Right. Convert those into numbers that you can then use, operation symbols, so that you can use them in your formulas.
Yeah. Steve Jackson from University of Arizona.
And this is a really clever thing to do, to peel out the numbers in their own column.
Yeah, doing a text split there. Get the numbers separated so they can sum those up. Still looking at bonus 3 there, it looks like. Interesting.
Okay.
And here's Roman
Kentucky
from University of Sydney, working on level 1 still. Got all of those. Oh,
and Sydney's finally on the board. Okay,
yeah,
Kentucky, 351 points. Okay.
Nice. So that's a good jump.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Level 1 is worth 120 points, so they got a full score there. Still see University of Kentucky out front.
Let's see. So Joseph here is working on this. All right, what's he doing? All right,
just trying to see some answers. See if we score some points.
All right, come on, y'all.
Yeah. University of Tennessee just behind. These levels are all worth over 100 points. So once they solve a level, they can quickly jump up the leaderboard.
So it's not over till it's over.
It's not over till it's over. And with this team strategy, they will have to build on each of these levels and probably at some point communicate to figure out how they can use each other's formulas to solve some of the harder levels.
And sometimes being teams, they will switch seats.
Yes, that has happened.
Yep.
Switch computers.
Okay.
Which happens in the real world too sometimes.
Yeah. 15.5 minutes left. Okay. All right, here's Beckett. Let's see what's he up to. What's he working on? He's got an if statement.
You can see his keyboard shortcuts over to the right. Again, most of these players have about 1 to 2 years experience in Excel. So with this,
look at it.
So to write these kinds of complex formulas with just a few years of experience, very impressive.
Right. He's got 2 if X lookups inside an if.
Yeah. Kentucky scored a few more points, but University of Tennessee is on their heels.
Yes, 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 closing the gap.
Yeah.
Less than 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
All right.
Continuing to kind of increment up there on level 4. Add points and level 1. They just have a partial score for level 1. So that kind of tells you they're working at either have some errors or they're just working it manually.
And one thing is with level 1 and level 3, you've got the different rows and columns, and you can solve X and then solve Y and then solve Z, and that would be one strategy as opposed to trying to write one big formula.
Right. And probably what they would do at this point, because to write that big formula is a lot of offsetting to get those rows and columns.
Okay.
Got an X lookup going. Try and do a lookup there.
Beckett, okay. And we're less than 14 minutes left.
Okay,
all right.
Go.
Kentucky is up, all right.
Yeah. Still on top, there we go. Now we can see the leaderboard there.
Can we look at University of Arizona and see what's happening? Because so far they only have bonus points.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what they're working on. They have a really strong team, and I imagine that they might be banking some points. That's also a strategy we see sometimes, which is they don't necessarily put their points in the score sheet right away, kind of hold on to them at the end, all of a sudden they get a big jump in points in the leaderboard switches. So that can happen. So in this case, I think that players would be more prone to put the points in just to check.
Oh yeah, they got to get moving here.
Yeah.
13 minutes.
You can, James.
Can we see Ben's screen from Arizona? Let's see.
Yeah,
The X lookup and that hash symbol means that he's referencing a dynamic array.
that's correct. Yeah, it looks like he's got all of those. So he's kind of taken this into a vertical table, XYZ rows. University of Tennessee still. Oh.
Tennessee has cleared level 1.
Yeah.
And 5 and 6.
Yeah, there we go. So they're out front with 480 points. University of Kentucky's right behind them with 475. Sydney and Arizona are still figuring this one out. Wouldn't count them out just yet. Again, that's because these levels are worth over 100 points each. Things can change quickly. There we go. Arizona now on the board. Solved level 1.
All right.
I'm sorry, solved level 5. They've solved level 5, so that's the rotation.
Bonus 3 is the only question that's still available. Okay. We've got a tie in first. All right. And we've got.
Here's Ben. Here's his index function.
All right. Knoxville is cleaning up those levels and getting the full amounts. Now, level 7 is scary because that's when they start doing the left, right, up, down in different directions and rotations.
That's right, yeah. That's the hardest level. We'll see if they get there.
Yep, okay.
Second from the University of Tennessee. The complexity of that formula, 2 X lookups and an if statement here. So he's trying to check if a value probably matching and then doing a lookup on that. Trying to figure, and accidentally hit an F1 key there. That happens a lot in Excel. You can see his help screen kind of come up.
Now we've broken the 500-point mark.
Okay. I know one of our competitors removed their F1 key from the keyboard because F2 is used a lot in Excel and F1 gets in the way. And it just brings up help and slows everything down. So there's a little keyboard hack in our Excel esports world.
Right. And one thing, the Kentucky team's coach said that if they finish first or second, the team will get a steak dinner.
Ooh.
Right now, they are in first place and tasting that steak.
That's some motivation
right
there.
Yes, it is.
We can get invited to that steak dinner.
Well, if you don't like steak, you want to have some crab legs.
Okay.
Does that count? All right. University of Kentucky is, they're adding more points.
Okay, there we go. So now Sydney has jumped into third. We have Kentucky still out in the lead with 575 with under 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes goes quick for these competitors. They are hustling, try and work through these paces. You can see the grid there on the right with the wings and the face. Trying to recreate it.
Yeah, replicate it there. Yeah. Okay.
Now Andy's working on level 6, so they have finished level 5. Working on level 6, which, as you can kind of see, introduces a lot more rotation, so a sequence of rotations. So these players need to understand the logic behind this, kind of the pattern recognition that's required, and then write formulas. Or in this case, what Andy's doing is just doing it manually. He's doing it very quick. You can see he's going one by one, just moving his, essentially, cell selection.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Really good. The formula, to write this formula, Oz, this could take a few minutes easy, and you have to know the formula right.
You gotta
have to know these functions.
You can't be fooling around with troubleshooting something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely different approaches. See, Nate here from.
And it just goes to show you, right? Because a lot of times you and I on our YouTube channels, we'll show nice, clean solutions, but there are times when stuff is just slow and dirty and nasty, but you get a result, and that's what matters. We're over 663 points. All right, University of Kentucky is up there.
Yeah, out in a pretty strong lead now, but again, as these levels get harder, the point values also increase.
Yep.
So we could see another shift in the lead here. Level 7's worth 180 points. Level 6 is worth 140.
Kentucky is pulling out ahead.
Yeah, they are continuing to just kind of plow through this pretty quickly.
Okay. Yeah, they're just cranking through.
Yeah, pretty good strategy.
So this has been interesting. You think we can get to 1,000 points?
That would be
You
amazing.
think
Yeah, I think we're getting there. Over 7 minutes to go. There's still time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kentucky is pulling out. Let's see. All right.
The Roman here is working through, again, those sequences of arrows which determine the direction and the magnitude that these rows are going to move. Trying to figure out a solution there. It's easier than it, I think it looks easier than it is.
Right.
Especially with the fact that these have to rotate back around to the front or back.
So load 25s in the whole way and hope you catch something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So University of Kentucky is now out to a pretty solid lead here. See if anyone can catch them.
Look at this.
Colin looks like he's trying to work at level 7. Again, this may be a risk that's worth taking, because if you can get something here, level 7's worth 180 points.
Yep.
That would put him well in the lead.
Right.
Still got zeros there, so not sure if he's figured out the formula yet.
Is it random array time? Coming up on 6 minutes left.
Yeah, that's an interesting strategy too that can happen with these esports. Is we're just looking for numbers as solutions here.
Right. Nobody's gonna check your work.
Yeah.
Say, yeah, you get the right answer with a random array, take it.
And for those that don't know, a random array is essentially a formula that will return a random number.
Right.
And you can with rand between, you can guess between two numbers and generate a random number and continue to iterate through that to score points too. So it's definitely a risk. Usually kind of a Hail Mary at the very end, but we are coming down to just over 5 minutes, so might be worth doing at this point.
Sure.
Jack working on an X. I think XLOOKUP is the most popular function I've seen today, which is one of the most popular functions in Excel.
Right.
So,
and so far, I haven't seen a lambda.
Yeah,
those user-defined functions that people can bring to competitions.
Yeah.
But in the last couple weeks that I've commented on competitions, I have seen one lambda.
Yeah, it's interesting. As we mentioned at the beginning, there's over 500 functions in Excel alone that are built into Excel, and then Excel also has the ability to create your own functions.
Right.
And that's what a lambda is. And a lot of teams will prepare those ahead of time for these kind of common scenarios we see with these different map layouts. And I have not seen one yet either. Interesting. They can save time, but they kind of have to be prepared for specific cases. And I don't think our competitors have really seen a case like this before, I think.
No, because even when we had the slot machine case, it was still different. You had to get up to like level 7 in that one in order to start having to sum the points. They just said how many steps the reel was going to go around, and you had to figure out what was going to be there at the end of the spin. Yeah. But this one, you got to have 3 that move, and they move left and right, not just one way.
Yeah. And now with just under 4 minutes, University of Kentucky still out to solid lead, but University of Arizona has come back. They now have 600 points, moved up into second, so they could potentially score some more points here in these last 3.5 minutes.
Can Sydney pull up from down under? That's where they are right now. Okay.
Now we're taking a look at the University of Sydney right now.
Okay, so I saw a mid function, possibly to fish out the arrow to then get the direction.
Yeah, doing some string manipulation.
There's
to get that.
also flash field.
Doing some
Flash field can help with some of
That's
this.
a good point, yeah. I don't see much flash fill used in competition, but it is a pretty smart tool for that stuff. Yet another feature, the Excel tool belt.
Okay, so he's trying to peel this apart. Right, he's just stripped out the arrows. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're under 3 minutes with University of Kentucky out ahead.
We could take a look at University of Arizona and see how they're doing it. They just score some points here. Could make it interesting. And
see it.
Falling behind a bit.
All right.
Trying to look at this.
Kentucky is expanding their lead.
Trying to transpose there. See University of Kentucky. Got the rand between. There we go.
Uh-oh, all right, all right. Yes, with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, talked about the rand between. So that's going to give him a random number between 25 and 40. And you can continue to calculate or iterate on it, so it'll just continue to return any random number between that. So essentially what he's done is decided that the answer is somewhere between 25 and 40. Let's just get a guess in here.
And then you take it right.
Maybe get some points.
And then you notice, this is really unusual to look at the scores for University of Kentucky, where you see all of these like 25%, 40%, etc. Usually you would see 100, 100, 100 as they move forward. But they're using strategies to manually get what they can get, right formulas that work for part of the levels.
Yeah, the manual strategy is something that has definitely come into play here.
Okay, we're looking at Ben's screen. Okay. Might somebody come up with some points? We got
1
a minute left.
Here we go.
Okay, Ben's moving fast. 1 minute, 1 minute.
University of Kentucky still scoring points. Ooh, looks like a little change there in their leaderboard, so we'll see what happened. They had bumped up to 892 for a second. Back down, but yeah, just kind of throwing in the Hail Marys into the score sheet. 30 seconds left. Let's see if our competitors can find anything in this bonus. Still looking for bonus 3, it looks like.
They just gave up on that one.
Only worth 50
just
points.
Said, never mind.
Change, yeah, it would not change the leaderboard at this point.
That's not going to help anybody.
Need some full levels completed.
And what we're looking at, 15 seconds left. Knoxville is the current world champion. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kentucky!
Hands up!
University of Kentucky.
Congratulations.
Getting that steak and the MECC Cup.
But I haven't seen it yet.
Well, that was awesome. It was a tough battle on there for these competitors. A lot of manual entry, kind of manual work, which we're not used to seeing. I'm curious to know if they were probably planning, or if they were planning for that type of strategy versus writing formulas. Normally they'd be thinking about writing formulas.
That'd be good to know, because I was back there when they were talking about dividing up the levels, but
yeah,
here we go. They are the winners, University of Kentucky.
That's awesome. All right, I think we're gonna send it down to Sepulence to award this trophy.
Here we go. Hello, everybody. Let's give a big congratulations to our winner, the University of Kentucky, coming in with that victory here. A big victory. Very exciting. Wouldn't mind joining me up here for a couple of questions, but more importantly, for a very, very big trophy. Let's make a round of applause for this trophy as well. A well-deserved victory for our friends here. No, you guys can, you can hold it, you can touch it. So you actually just won that. That's yours now, actually. Yeah! Come this way with me, come this way with me. All right, guys, so first and foremost, before we talk about Before we talk about the victory today, I would love to know a little bit more. How do you get into something like this? This is so specific. This is so niche. This is so exciting. What pulled you guys into it?
Colin, can you talk about that?
Yeah, so
Let me come over here.
So we had two professors that, we saw them tabling in our class last January, and it just seemed interesting. I didn't have a whole lot of Excel experience, and I thought it was a great opportunity to develop my skills, and it ended up being way more fun. I never thought I'd be here by any means, but
Yeah, absolutely. So, anybody who wants to answer this next one can. This, I just got to see so much in such little time. That seems stressful. I assume that it is. What's the key to staying calm? Because there's so many tasks that need completed. There's so much to be done in such little time. How do you guys keep your cool to make sure that you finish strong?
I think it's just how many reps you put in. I mean, we've done this so many times now. We've been in Las Vegas on a big stage like this before, and now you just know to take it easy and just let the nerves ride and trust in each other. And I trust in my teammates. I know the points that they're going to get, and we just trust the process.
Absolutely. Trusting the process is the name of the game. So, I've got to say, going into this, you guys had a great performance, obviously able to find that first place slot. So what is it that set you guys apart today? Was it the ability to stay calm? Was it the ability to perform under pressure? Was it just, as you said, your familiarity with Excel? What was it that gave you guys this win?
I think it's our ability to be flexible. We knew that the case was really difficult, and we knew that we wanted to just take a different approach to it that a lot of teams probably didn't take. So we knew that we were open to being different than other teams.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I'll ask one more question for my own curiosity here. How do you guys choose to approach? The case is different literally every single time. How do you choose how to approach, which steps to take, which ones might be easier, which ones you really want to put more time into?
So yeah, there's a bunch of different types of cases. So when I go into it knowing that there's a bunch, I just know that I already practiced enough. I went through it. I looked at all the archived ones. So it's like I said, it really just matters that you put in the effort, you already did the practice, and you're here and ready to do the results. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, lift that trophy high and be proud. Let's give another round of applause to our friends at the University of Kentucky for their victory here in the MECC. Now, folks, we are going to go ahead and throw things to a break so we can get ready for our next series here at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup 2025. We'll see you right back here with some more action in just a couple of minutes.
I am an American soldier. I serve the people of the United States.
I will always place the mission first. Delivery. I will never accept defeat.
I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough.